gosh. I just did this live, and I'm going to have to go back. So it must mean that it's meant for me to read this again. And so this is my friend. His name is Robert Shakan. He wrote this book. It's a great book. It's called Practicing Self-Awareness. And so what I did do first is I read from the Believer's Authority, which I believe, I want to read this again, so I'm going to read it. And it's Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So I'll just read. This is a great book also, but I'm on here to promote this book. And so I'm going to go back to the chapter in pain, and I'll start reading it all over again. So, to practice self-awareness, you must understand certain components, and one component we study in this chapter is pain. Pain is the genesis of any real self-awareness, experience in practicing self-awareness. When in pain is leading us into unimagined, up until now, freedom, joy, and satisfaction. Pain initiates a medium for hearing from our higher self, simply meaning we are used to hearing self-defeating, non-confirming words when disturbed. But by practicing self-awareness, this means that you're aware of your pain, that you're aware of what's going on with you, that you're aware of what's going on in your state. We will begin to hear clarity, confirming consciousness, freedom, and peace, all played across the temple of our thoughts. But let us not forget what sparked this divinity. Yes, you guessed it, pain. Pain is the greatest gift that none of us want. How are you, Andre? And so, pain, this whole chapter discusses pain, and I'm reading from this chapter. So yes, we are asleep inside of our daily experiences. We fall into traps because we protect our beliefs. And a lot of people protect their belief system down to the core. I've done it. And my belief systems can be wrong. We can practice these belief systems, and a lot of the stuff can just be crazy. So I'm going to finish reading this. So I have found out that pain, the only strong is strong enough to penetrate our belief system. Pain is the only thing that will wake us up from a system that is not working. What I have found in my experience, and this is Rob speaking, is that what I need to open me up to new experiences, new teachings, and new freedom is pain. Pain is the medium that allows me the ability to hear from something greater than myself and my normal consciousness. Although most people do not see pain as a gift, it is because of the relationship they have with it. Practicing self-awareness will allow you to develop a new relationship with pain in your life, with a new understanding of pain's purpose. That means where should it go? Where should we direct our pain? With a new understanding of pain's purpose, you will begin to see pain as one of the greatest assets in your life. You will come to learn that pain can trigger a higher consciousness in you. When I say a higher consciousness, I simply mean higher thoughts that are more freeing, clear, and more enjoyable than normal thoughts. Because, we can attract, we are what we attract. Like, say if your car breaks down, and then all day you're just like, oh God, this is the worstest thing that happened to me. My life is ruined. But a lot of times your car could break down. It could be protecting you from something. Maybe you need to sit that week. Maybe you don't need to be out driving. It could be a lot of different things. That's just something that, a little tad bit that I'm saying. But I'm going to finish reading Rob's book. Pain can be the genesis of communication with a higher source. We have been taught our whole lives to avoid pain at all costs. Therefore, it is not a surprise that we do not have, genuine communication with a higher source. Whatever you choose to call your higher source, our relationship with a higher source tends to be more about rituals than communications. It means like you go through the process without really going through the process. So communication is two-force dialogue with one another. I discovered that pain, this is Rob saying he discovered, that pain is the one thing that can spark a dialogue. It can spark deep dialogues. You can have pain with your parents, your kids can have pain, and those pains can never be healed. We have Men that have pain with their children because they were incarcerated, they weren't able to be there for their children, and so sometimes that pain just stays surface. But through this book, he's trying to help men and women channel instead of having other addictions. So I'm going to finish reading it. This communication is so needed in society today because we believe in our content conditioning and development even when it doesn't serve us. This is why we should actually celebrate our pain, is what he's saying. Without pain, how would you ever know to stop going in the wrong direction, which is true. Because say if you experienced something and it was very painful, and if you learn from that pain, then you're not going to go in that whole direction again. You're going to stop yourself from going in that. Self-awareness will begin to look at our pain a whole other way. Instead of screaming, why is this happening to me? We can sometimes begrudgingly say, what is this pain trying to show me about myself that I currently don't know? Most pain is trying to help us identify somewhere we are attached to something that is wrong for our train of thought. Us human beings, we fall into traps because whatever is trapping us, we believe that it serves us. Therefore, if you believe that something serves you, you won't think that it's a trap. That explains a lot of our drug addiction, gambling addictions, food addictions, alcoholism. You could be a people pleaser. These are a lot of things that we all experience every day. And so what he is saying, through self-awareness, you have to allow yourself to hear yourself and say something that could possibly become an obsession that could destroy your whole life. It could be a sex addiction. It could be a lying addiction. Addictions destroy families for years. And my mom had an addiction, and it destroyed our family. It literally tore our family apart. I mean, my mom was in prison. She died in prison. My brothers end up being in prison. They're both out, thank God, now, and they're both doing good. They're changing their whole lives around. And so I'm for helping, returning citizens. A lot of guys inbox me, and I'm not even going to give you time of day if you're not a socially conscious brother. It's like I won't be bothered with you because life is serious. Life is not a game. I don't play around. I don't like to, play around. Life is serious. And so we have to know about these things. And so what he's saying is that mankind's pain is good. This is an epiphany. And epiphany is something that, bam, shakes you to your core. Something that happens that's going to change your life forever. So he's saying it's an epiphany should change the whole outlook of your day. Everything you did not like about your day was sent to make you a better person. And I mean, that is true. I have a friend that just was in a car accident. His truck was totaled, and I'm hoping that he's okay. But it happened for a reason. When anything shakes you to your core, I tell my sons, it is here to change you. And the process of pain is so deep and it's so hardcore that we don't know, especially as blacks, because it's the slave mentality that we have. And a lot of us, women, men, we can stay stuck, just stuck. But there are things that you can do to get yourself out of that stuck position. So what he's saying is pain is a penetrator. At first, it will not be easy to understand this concept because a lot of things in our life have taught us the exact opposite. We've learned from our parents. My dad didn't process pain at all well. And he was a great father, but he didn't process pain well. He was from the South, and so he came with a slave mentality. It was the way he was raised. He lost his mother at a very young age. And so, the way he processes pain, I learned from him. And so this can all be generational curses. We can learn from our parents how to process pain. And, a lot of relationships are doomed over pain. When two people can come together and try to figure out, the source of their pain. Because it could be a lot of things going on. Financial infidelity. That's when you don't let your husband or wife or spouse know that you're spending money or that you got an addiction and you're doing all these things behind their back. They teach you all these things when you go to marriage counseling and stuff like that. So let me get back to reading Rob's book. But though the practice of self-awareness, you will come to view pain as something you not only want or need, but something that you will not be able to do without. As a matter of fact, some days you'll wonder, where is the pain? Because through self-awareness, you will grow an insatiable thirst for self-discovery. Pain will help you see the false you, so the new you can appear. Pain can assist the new you that has been wanting to emerge your whole life. That you're exhausted, every power that you have in you not to see it. This answers why people are depressed. Your pain comes to show you something that you cannot see. Here is a small sample what it looks like to not see certain things that are happening in our experience while they are happening. Just quickly, I was in a meeting at my church. Now, this is Rob. This is Rob speaking about a meeting that he was in at his church. And he said they discussed a recent movie night. The movie shown in church, it was at a recreational hall, contained a great deal of profanity. There was dissatisfaction among the membership because of the language. I think the members in charge of previewing the movie did not realize the fact that stating that they did not realize the use of the bad language when they were watching it. But while watching it in the church group fellowship, the profanity was far more apparent. That is a brief illustration I'm giving you about self-awareness and how an instant that happens to me today. In one setting, certain things are noticeable, and yet in another setting, they're not. When you're by yourself, you might not notice something, but when you're with a group of people, you'll notice things more. How many experiences do we have in our life where a condition will or will not allow us to notice certain things? I explained this in depth, how we can go through life not seeing a lot of things that are there because of our attachment to them. Pain will allow you to see an even greater you that has always been there, and it will help you to see things at your current level of consciousness that you are not allowed to see. So I can't read all of it, but because I would like you to go and purchase the book. You can get this on Amazon. It's really a cheap read. You can purchase it online and read it. But every other day I'll read something from this, and I'm going to still read from the pain chapter because I really think that men deal with their pain way different than women. And men have to play tough. And I think that's an unfair thing that, women, we could cry and, do all of that and just have a spoil out. But men, when they do that, especially black men, they say, oh, that man, he's weak. He's this. Why is he crying? Man, tough it up. Man, you acting like a bitch. Why can't a man cry? Why can't a man say when something doesn't feel good to them or when they don't like something? And it's bad because we teach men as little boys that they're not allowed to cry, especially black men. You have in the white, families, Italian families, it's okay for men to cry. That's one thing that we need to do as black women, support our black men. They should cry. If they want to cry, if they have a bad day, they should be able to come home to their woman or be able to come home to their mother or even go to their father and cry about something that they didn't like. How can a man be successful in the world when he's got to hold all this bullshit in? Because it makes him look tough. I don't think it's a good practice. This is how we get a lot of addictions. This is how we get things, or we even attract the wrong people to us, because we're not able to, especially our black men, are holding on to things that they can't whine about. If they got child support, they should be upset about it, especially if they're taking care of their kids. That could be a very bad thing for a man to look down and see that FICO on his check, and he got to pay all that damn money, and he's been taking care of the kid. So those are pain is a good thing. But I'm going to go. I just wanted to, this was on my mind, and I thought, wow, I'm going to support Rob's book. I've been doing some things for him, getting him in the library. He's going to be in Detroit Library. So if you don't have the money, you can go to the library and purchase this book. And so pass this along. If you can share my video, because I'm always about trying to help, not hurt. And I didn't mean to be long-winded. And so have a blessed day, guys. Bye-bye.